It makes up 60% of the human body and covers more than 70% of the Earth's surface. It's in our food, in many products we use, and some of us even like to mix it with sugar in a concoction called juice. They say you should drink about 2 liters of water a day to keep yourself hydrated, but are you keeping up? Today, we dive into the life-giving chemical dihydrogen monoxide. Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Talkily. I am Alvin.
I'm Melanie.
I'm Cody.
I'm Laura.
And today we're talking about water. Water of life. Water is in everything, and it's essential for us to, what's that word? Live.
Not important, really. A little bit.
Yeah.
Who of us enjoy drinking water? I know some people I've met in my life really hate drinking water.
I have met people like that. I've worked
like
with
drinking
people
water.
who basically just drank pop all the time.
That's not the same thing.
No, it does technically hydrate you. It's just not as good for you as water.
It also has a lot of sugar and
it also depends on what kind of soda they're drinking.
It's true.
Because there are certain sodas that tend to dehydrate you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, personally, I drink a lot of water. I, not just because it's good for you, but also because it's a very convenient, drink when I don't have anything else. But I do know I have met people who quite dislike it, the plain water. They have to mix it with something or,
Yeah.
And if you're mixing Crystal Light in your water all the time, isn't it just like soda, sort of?
Well, like juice, right? But it's
right.
like a weird tasting juice. I mean, I've added Crystal Light to some water. I've recently decided that lemon is my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
I really like mixing lemon with my water. Just gives it a little bit of a zing, but it's also not just plain. But I'm also starting. I'm okay with regular water. I think it's just that when we've been spoiled by so many sugary drinks, juices, and the like, that when you go back to water, it's almost seen as this just plain water. It's just seen as just kind of like the boring kind of drink to have.
Like you're expecting it to have flavor because that's what you're used to drinking. If you don't habitually drink water, and like you said, you kind of go back to it after a while. Usually drinking other things like coffee, pop, whatever. Yeah.
And part of me wonders too, maybe it's not necessarily just the taste. It's specifically the fact that we're maybe addicted to the sugars in our drinks. You know what I mean? It's less about the fact that, water's so boring. It's just that we don't maybe necessarily realize that there's an addictive quality to some of the drinks that we do regularly consume, like pop and juices.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't drink much pop, so I think I've managed not to become addicted to it, but
this episode's now about pop.
I mean, I definitely drink coffee, so you know.
I think it also depends on where you are in the city. Certainly when I house sit, there are some places where I prefer the taste of water to others, and I'll certainly drink less water when, let's say, I'm living in River Heights, because I find the water, something about the pipes, it has almost like a muddy mineral quality that I don't particularly enjoy. I mean, it's clean water.
It's safe to drink.
It's safe to drink, but it
tastes good to you.
It's just, it tastes off and sometimes a little bit stale. Whereas living here in the North End, or sometimes when I'm living out South Pembina, I prefer the taste of the water from the tap out there. And I mean, some of this all can be remedied with a Brita filter or some sort of filtration system. But I find even when I run the water, when I'm living in River Heights through a Brita filter, it still tastes distinctly different from other locations in the city.
Sorry, River Heights, but
yeah.
We like you, but apparently not your water.
No,
I have
not your
tried
water.
it for some time. So,
and also depends on the house. Like I find this, as you get closer to the river, the stranger the water tends to taste.
Okay.
Yeah. Where if you're living off of, let's say, Cordon on towards Grant, it is a better flavor.
Yeah. What about the utilization of water? Here in Manitoba, we use a lot of our electricity is powered by dams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just in that respect, it's not even just something that you drink, right? It's not something that's just inside you. It's something that we use in order to create power.
Which is very useful for things like podcasting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good point. Yeah. No, but just as a resource, it's it's one of those things that's so diverse, right? I don't think any of us really think about just how how we can utilize water in so many different, how we on an everyday basis utilize water, in so many different ways, from powering electricity, ice cubes, for example, to make our drinks colder, steam, right? Which technically isn't water, but it's the same, I guess it's water in a different state, right? Just things like that. It's so essential to our world. Like 70% of the planet is covered in it, right? And I don't know. Sometimes I think about when we some of these movies where it's a dystopian future, and there's no water. Just how devastating that would be to the planet, right?
Well, and also what kind of water is devastating to the planet, or lack thereof, because we're specifically talking about fresh water, where fresh water only makes up. Do we have a number?
Again, we did not do research for these podcasts.
No, we never did research. No.
I just wonder when you were saying 60%, but
I'm going to ballpark based on the notes we have in front of us. 3.5.
Excellent. So,
I forgot. I had notes for everybody.
We rebelled against the notes. Yeah.
So, we're talking about 3.5% of the
citation needed.
Yes, 70% of the world's water is drinkable. There is a huge chunk that is salt water. But it also plays a hugely important role in regulating climate.
Also, you can drink it, just not a lot.
Right. Yeah, not in that state.
It's like, everything's edible once.
Filter it. Well, we'll get you to try that if it comes to that and the end of the world.
Oh, no, I'm good.
I think they used to call that sea madness.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When sailors would drink salt water.
And when out of desperation, you were in the doldrums and you would run out of fresh water, or you'd been through a storm and had lost it. If you had enough salt water, particularly if you were malnourished, because presumably your rations had
run out
or had been spoiled by water getting into it, you would go into a sort of mad state.
How ironic. Surrounded by water and none of it I can drink.
Are you a pirate now?
Yar.
Yeah. Yar, har.
Yeah, well, even with the oceans, though, I'm pretty sure the saltwater content is probably so essential to the creatures that live in the ocean. That have adapted to it. Cody, you had an interesting point about that earlier.
Running joke is water. I never touch this stuff. It's too fishy. Let's keep this PG.
Fish do things in it.
Yeah.
Lay things in it.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
That's the thing.
Hopefully you all got the joke.
Other ways that water is used, holy water. People like to bless holy water. So it's used in a lot of religious contexts. Yeah.
Rituals, ceremonies. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fountain of youth. We see, things with, regarding water, trying to find this fountain that's supposed to keep, make you young again and young forever.
The very thing that's supposed to kind of cure all ills and again, keep you, make you immortal essentially is supposed to be, this is water. Yeah.
Keeping you alive, but also in other ways, not, doing the opposite thing. We've seen, Mother Nature or, climate change happening now. And there have always been tsunamis and typhoons and all these other places, and all these other things that have happened. But, water, you think, it's just this kind of harmless thing, but in mass quantities, it can be very heavy. It can crush and even kill people, right? When my wife and I went to Mexico, one of the first things we did is we went to a beach and we ran out into the water. And, it was fun, with the water splashing up on you. But I was reading up afterwards, and apparently if you're standing in just the right way, and the tides are just that fast or hard, you could actually break something. Water can actually break something.
Yeah, the riptide will come in and either like injure your leg or just like drag you out. And then you have the worst time ever trying to get back in. Yeah,
definitely something that's, I guess water's definitely something to be respected, right? If you're not,
yes,
Absolutely.
And I wonder if that partially has played into how we ritualize and honor water in some ways, is because historically we have recognized the duality of power, that it is both life-giving and inherently dangerous, as with all sort of natural things.
Going along with that point, actually, and this is kind of sidestepping a little bit, because I think it's more a commentary on making sure you don't read or believe everything you hear, and to remember that depending on the source, it might not be the most accurate thing. But there was the internet hoax with dihydrogen monoxide. Someone set up a website where it was talking about this dangerous chemical that was in everything, and it kills this many people a year, etc.
I thought that was more of a parody of people who post things like, oh, there's mercury in your vaccines or whatever, and it was more of a parody of people who don't do the research about other things. I didn't think that anybody actually made a website thinking that dihydrogen monoxide was actually harmful. I only saw it as like a post other places as kind of a meme.
Yeah, no, someone made a and I don't know if that's how it originated, but
again, somebody took the meme as reality. As reality. Again, proving the point of the parody. Yeah, basically saying, and there were people who would spread the word, saying, oh, this is dangerous, we have to do something about it. And it's like, well, no, it's water. You need it to live, literally.
Don't overdo it. Don't underdo it.
But it's in your house right now. It's dangerous.
It's coming for you. It's running through the pipes. It's in the walls.
It's just waiting for you to let your guard down.
And then it'll dastardly, flood your basement or something. Yeah.
That's a Simpsons reference. Like, given the chance, it'll kill you and everyone you've ever cared about.
I feel like we need to start singing like the Captain Planet theme song.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Captain Planet, he's a hero.
You were ready to go with that.
Yes, I was.
I am impressed. I would have to look it up in order to remember.
What were the elements? It was earth,
fire, water, wind, and
heart.
Heart. Yeah. The most important one.
Yes.
I mean,
I think you could talk to animals.
You do need it to live, yes. But literally, yeah. Figuratively, you don't need to talk to animals in order to live. It's just cool.
Speak for yourself. No, one thing I do want to rant about is that you need 2 liters of water a day.
Right.
It's not necessarily wrong in that it's like it's something that they try to recommend as a guideline just to make sure people get enough.
They know you're not going to actually drink 2 liters of water a day. Most people,
close to that. Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard.
I drink 4 liters of water a day minimum, and that's not an exaggeration. Like, I have dry mouth right now just talking about all this water. Yeah. It's to try and get people to drink more. You do actually get a huge chunk of the water you need throughout the day from food. It's like most of what you eat, in the same way that we are, what is it? I've heard anywhere between 60 and 90% water, depending on the source over the years. But that goes for every animal and plant that we also eat. Like, so you do get quite a bit of water from that as well.
What about things like coffee, or as we discussed earlier, like soda?
Diuretics.
Also
not
good.
Necessarily enough.
Are those also hydrating?
That is one thing. Yeah, they can be.
Yeah. Okay.
Coffee is actually not enough of a diuretic to offset how much water is inside of it. Unless it's like 80% caffeine, and then just the idea of
Unless
water.
You're drinking sludge,
then you have a problem. Yeah.
That is,
Yeah, but it a lot of that stuff though, I find, me personally, it ends up leaving me with dry mouth, so it feels a lot less hydrating. I'm trying to think of a water pun.
You're letting us down, Cody.
This is sinking to a water.
Yeah, no,
grave.
this is yeah. I'm all dried up.
Oh, that was much better.
Okay, good.
Thanks again for joining us today on Talkily for another cool discuss. Joining me today for Water of Life was Laura, Cody, and Mel. Intro-outro music is Illuminate by Ethan Rank, found on Artlist. All additional music also acquired through Artlist. All images and videos in our show acquired through Pixabay. podcasting services acquired through Spreaker. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. If you enjoyed the show, please visit cooldiscuss.com, check out our merch store, or consider a donation so we can continue producing awesome content. Please keep in mind we are just normal everyday people talking about things we think we know something about. We are not experts on any of this. Always take everything you hear, read, or see with a grain of salt, never get all your information from only one place, and always be willing to question. This is AWC thanking you once again for joining us.